Welcome to Romance Rex, where three book besties explore the world of romance novels and encourage you to expand your TBR. Join us as we dive into the hottest releases and hidden gems of the genre. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok at Romance Rex Pod. I am Jordan, and I am currently reading Oathbound by Hadley H. Hudson.
Hey guys, I'm Devaney and I am reading The Nanny by Lana Ferguson.
Hello everyone, I'm Christina and I'm currently reading Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. So buckle up for some bookish banter.
I will. Thank you.
Me too.
Welcome back, everybody.
Hey.
Yes.
Here we are, fresh.
How we doing?
What are we talking about?
Well, before we get to that, let's talk about what we've already read in the last little bit. Does anyone have a rant or a quote? Because I have a...
Okay. All right. Yes, you share your funny one.
girl.
Funny one? Okay.
Yeah.
Quote of the day, everybody. This is from He's Not My Type by Megan Quinn. And this is, it's a hockey romance. The guys are in the locker room. Just to set the scene for you. The guys are in the locker room.
Yeah.
And like
That's
they're
the
trying to
best
hype up
place.
their boy to get with the girl. Metaphorically. If she got a look at your penis, I'm pretty sure it would scare her away. That shit has girth. It's my favorite quote of the book. And there are so many great quotes because the book is amazing. But it's just so funny.
Girth.
That shit has girth. Yeah,
If she
girth.
saw it, it'd scare her away. That shit has girth. Locker room talk.
That's hilarious.
Locker room talk written by women is amazing.
It's so good. Oh, so good. And Megan Quinn is just so good at like banter
Witty.
like that.
Very
So
witty.
yeah, she's very witty for real. I love that. I don't think I've read that one actually.
Oh, it's one of my favorites now. But I'll get into her more later in this episode too. So
Okay.
who else got?
What
What
you
about
got,
you?
Christina?
Oh, me? Okay. I thought this one went well with, and since we talk romance, this was a scene out of My Dark Romeo. The
Fave.
main girl loves to read romance books, and so here's a quote. She says, "Yet again, my romance books proved right. Love is an accident, something that occurs completely out of your control with no regard for your safety."
Poor baby. Yes, it is an accident. An accident we make over and over again in life. This is a happy episode though, guys. All right, I got one. So this one is from A Love Song for Ricky Wilde, which I will be talking about later on in that pod, just because y'all know I just finished that book and I'm obsessed. I've been talking about it. It is like my new personality, and that's just that. In this specific scene, the main character, Ezra, he's like a very old soul. That's what I'm going to say, not to give too much away. He's a very old soul, and so he doesn't believe in cursing in front of women, and he just kind of, he just says it's because he has manners. It's too vulgar for, a woman's good sensibilities.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, he's talking to the female bait character, and he says, "Then nothing else matters," he told her. "Love well, eat well, fuck well, and leave the world better off than you found it. That's success." Ricky folded her arms across her chest. "You're not gonna apologize for fuck well?" Ezra curled his mouth into something dangerous, somewhere between a smirk and a grin. Leisurely, he finished off his water. "I never apologize for fucking well." And mind you, this man said he wasn't going to curse in front of the girl, much less be so forward. But yeah, I had to highlight that passage immediately.
Oh, that's cute.
So today we are talking about contemporary romances, which is like the chef's kiss of my genre-loving
There it
list.
is. It's been an episode or two that we've heard Chef's Kiss. We didn't get it for the dark
Right.
romance episode, but we're getting it today.
The dark romance episode was not really a chef's kiss kind of episode for me because was anything really chef's kiss?
Yes, for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it is. It was all.
All of it was chef's kiss. All of it. But yeah, so let's start off with the definition for contemporary romance. This definition I saw on yellowroseromancebooks.com. And I think they just had a really great, succinct way of describing the genre without all the World War II mentionings. Go look up the definition yourself if you're curious about why I mentioned World War II. This just makes sense. But here's what Yellow Rose Romance Book says. Contemporary romance is a genre that focuses on romantic relationships set in present day. It often portrays the challenges, emotions, and dynamics of modern love, making it relatable to readers who navigate similar experiences in their own lives. The genre thrives on authenticity, exploring themes of connection, personal growth, and the myriad complexities that love entails. And I think that is absolute perfection as far as the definition
Love
for
it.
the genre goes.
100%.
Yeah. So that's what we're talking about today, guys. I hope you're all buckled in. We got some hot recs for you. Yeah, I've got a couple. I tried to be a little diverse in my selections as far as what they
You
have.
had a lot
but
of options to work with. This is your Roman Empire. This is
Her
it.
forte.
yes. Yeah, this is my thing, but I had to pick. I had to slice
Share
it
'em
down
then,
and only
'cause I
pick
can
a
tell
couple.
how
Oh,
much
give
you
them to
want to.
us. Let's hear it.
You ain't got to threaten me with a good time. Here we go. So first, because I just mentioned A Love Song for Ricky Wilds, I am going to add that to this list. I mean, this is a new book for me. I literally just finished that book a couple days ago. But when I tell you I had the best time reading this book, the story follows Ricky and Ezra and their romance. Ricky is kind of the odd girl out in her family. She's the weirdo, the oddball, the one who's creative that they don't understand. Her family's pretty much like Atlanta royalty. And her sisters are all very rich and sophisticated and just influencer type women. They're just down to business. And Ricky's not like that at all. She shops at consignment stores and she loves thrifting and she wears like old school outfits while her sisters look like they've just come off the stage of a runway. So she's very different from her family. She gets an offer to basically uproot her life to move to Harlem to open up her own store, and she takes it. And that's when her life kind of goes crazy. There's so many synchronicities and coincidences that happen. And that's where she meets Ezra, who has a story of his own. They fall in love, but there's such a twist. And like, I don't know, the plot is just, it is so cute. It is so beautiful. And like, the story is modern. It does jump in timelines, but it's a modern love story that also discusses the beauty of the Harlem Renaissance. Now, I'm a New Yorker, okay? I'm a New York girl, so I love Harlem. I absolutely appreciate the rich culture and history there, and hearing things like brought up in this book that I know that I've had experience with and that they are now experiencing in the book. It was actually chef's kiss. It was like, she talks about Sylvia. I'm like, yes, Sylvia's, yes, that food is, eat that down. Love it. Delicious. Scrumdiddlyumptious.
Like specific
So it was
places
so,
and everything, like experience.
yes,
awesome.
places. Yeah, they talk about the Cotton Club. They talk about all these things. And they're like, Tia did her research for this book because the things that she
Right.
mentions, the characters that are in there, and of course it's fiction. So she could have, done her
Made
own
it
thing.
up, yeah.
But it was beautiful. It was beautiful to relive the vibrancy of the Harlem Renaissance in such a short way, because I mean, that's a long history, and the book is only like 300 some pages,
Awesome.
So I will highly recommend it. Also, one thing about me, I'm gonna love Black people falling in love. Yes, I'm gonna love them down. Absolutely. A little Black girl, a little weirdo Black girl being loved. Sign me up. She also has ADHD. We're hitting a few notes there. Things are connecting for me. My next suggestion, to stray far from that, is actually Cinderella is Faking It by Dylan Dyer. This is an indie book. Dylan is such a sweet, adorable person on Instagram and Threads if you follow her. I think she also has TikTok, but her personality is so, I don't know, I want to squeeze her. She just seems so warm and cozy. But Cinderella is Faking It is about Anne, whose real name is August Beckett, I think, but everyone calls him Beck. And basically, the plot is Delilah has 4 problems: no job, no money, no prospects, no orgasms. The first 3 should be easy to solve. I mean, that line alone, like,
it's
are you
giving
dead?
Pride and Prejudice, and then
Yes,
they weren't having any
yes.
either, so maybe that was their problem in Pride and Prejudice. So
Exactly. But when I saw that, I was like, yep, I'm sold. I'm hooked. But all the potential employers dig a little too deep into her previous boss. She meets Cordelia Montgomery, reclusive heiress, and gets roped into a new job overnight where she has to pretend to be Cordelia. August Beckett just wants Cordelia for her last name, since her father, who is now no longer with the living, has stipulated that the fortune must stay in the family. So he has to marry in to get the wealth and the fortune. He creates an elaborate plan to charm her, but ends up being the one being charmed. Now, obviously, he thinks he's charming Cordelia, but he's charming Delilah. And it's just a beautiful, long con kind of vibe. There's a plot twist in there that changes. I mean, it was such a fun read because
interesting.
as the reader, yeah, you can see that y'all are conning each other. Like, y'all
like
have
a
no
rom-com?
idea that. Yeah, I would definitely say it's rom-com vibes. It's very much so rom-com. So Cinderella is Faking It is actually a part of a series that Dylan will be doing called the Princess Crossover. And her next book is called Rapunzel is Losing It, which is about Cordelia, the actual heiress who starts this. The reason I love this book is because there is so much mental health representation in it. Cordelia, the reclusive heiress, is actually agoraphobic. Is that the one where you don't like going out in public? Yeah, she's terrified, which is how Delilah, exactly, because they kind of look alike, and that's why Delilah ends up doing all this stuff. But Delilah herself also has, things going on. She has sensitivity issues, like textures and feelings that play out between her and Beck in the bedroom where no one else has paid attention to, but Beck notices, and it changes the game for her. I know. Yes, it is such a sweet book. It is so funny. I think Dylan did a great job with this being her first book, her debut book. Like, excellent work.
Oh, it's a debut book. Okay.
It's a debut novel, yes. And I will definitely be reading the next one. Okay. Yes. And Rapunzel is Losing It is, like I said, Cordelia and her bodyguard.
Oh, it's a bodyguard. You would love a good bodyguard.
And we, oh, baby.
That's right up your alley.
He's tatted MMA fighter. Ooh, Mafia Ties, which actually come out in the first book. So, yeah, hook, line, and sinker. Yes. The next book, okay, I listened to this on audio. There were so many times I had to pause the audio to clutch my pearls and to collect myself. If you have not listened to or read Sinner by Sierra Simone, please do it. Okay, so to be fair, this is a trilogy. I read, and there's some novellas sprinkled in between. I read the first book. I also listened to it, which is Saint. Is it Saint? Is Saint the first one? No, Saint might not be the first one. Priest, I'm sorry. Priest is the first book. It's a trilogy, and Priest is the first one, which follows a father, like in the church, who kind of loses his way. And there is a lot of smut in that book with this father. Actually, I would argue that he does find his way. He finds the right way. Preference. He finds his way. The female main character, she absolutely did nothing for me. She did nothing for me. She gave me nothing. In the first one? But in the first one, yes. The first one was not my favorite. Just to be clear, so if you read the first one and you're like, I absolutely cannot read anymore in this series, I am begging you to read the second. It will change your mind.
Do you have
Is it Priest, Saint, Sinner?
You don't. Yes, Priest, Sinner, Saint. You do not have to read the first one because main character from the first one pops up in the second one, but not in a way that it's conducive to the plot or that you actually need. Like, you can get it if you don't read it. But Sinner follows Sean and Zenobia. Oh, it's a little interracial romance. Love that for them. Sean is obviously the brother of an ex-father. Their entire family grew up in the church. Their family does suffer very harsh tragedies. Content warnings for that one, just in case. But this tragedy kind of puts the four brothers on their own trajectory. Sean is not in the church. He's not involved. He questions God. He doesn't like God. He's not like a fan. He tries to stay as far away from the church as possible because of what happened. He's the older brother, and he kind of has this responsibility kink. I don't know. He's to take care of everyone with cancer, which that puts his thing into high gear. He wants to save his mom.
Oldest sibling complex.
Extreme. Like, it's really rough because of their specific tragedy as well. They lose a sibling, their one sister, in a rough way. Sean's best friend has a younger sister named Zenobia. They all grew up together. Like, he used to call her Zeniba. There's also age gap.
Best friend's sister?
It's a best friend's sister.
It's awfully close to like my real life husband and I. So love it.
Correct. And it's really well done, especially because she's grown now and he does not recognize her when he first sees her. He is the whole time, and he hits on her. He hits on that thing, and he has no idea. It is so good. But here's the twist: Zenobia asks Sean to teach her about sex because she is a virgin. But she asks him specifically because in a month, she'll be taking her vows to become a nun.
Oh. Okay. Well,
And so she has not experienced the world. And so she wants to, make sure, she basically wants to remove doubt, which is like a big thing, like doubt that this is the path she should take and all those things. So it's a whirlwind. And Sean, the audiobook, the narrator, again, I had to pause. Thighs were clenched because he has a mouth on him and he is perfect. Chef's kiss. So if you're into that, I think you should check that out. It's very different. There's a lot of reference to Christianity. Nope, actually Catholicism. Sorry, there's a lot of Catholic references in there because that's what their family is. And just God in general. Christina's like, let me write that down.
I need to purge some feelings about that myself. Let me
right
through smut.
Yes, and I've read other Sierra Simone books, but I really like the language. I think is really beautiful in this book, especially in the way, as someone who is not religious, I am not at all, to see the way or to read the way that she portrays God and Christianity and fate and religion. It was just really nice to read. Like, it was very refreshing and eye-opening, and I think I learned a little, even though there was a lot of smut. So definitely add that. The last book follows their younger brother who is dating Sean's best friend, the guy.
Oh, it's MM?
Oh.
It's MM.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
I wasn't gonna get
so
into
check
it
these out.
because of the religious themes.
Yeah. I know, and they're in there, but it's done in a way because I'm like, I feel like if I walk into a church, the whole thing's going to catch on fire. But I really enjoyed, like I'm the girl you don't want in the pew. Like, danger is afoot, like when I'm there. Anyway, I enjoyed the book, so check them out. Sierra Simone, you did a wonderful job with these. But my very last one is actually Roommate Risk by Talia Hibbert, and it follows Jasmine and Rahul. This book had me cracking up. They're so unhinged. It takes place in London, I'm pretty sure. But these characters are so unhinged. They meet one day at the library at university studying. And basically they decide to things are cute. Let's try to do it. Let's try to have sex.
Naturally.
Naturally. You meet and you try to do it. They pause in the middle because Jasmine makes a choice that if she follows through with this, then she can't be his friend. So he stops it and he's just rather have your friendship than lose you, over that. It's one of those things because they do build a friendship. I know they do build a friendship. And so he's like, I'd rather have your friendship than not have you at all. But then 5, 6, 7 years go by and he's been pining for the whole time. He has been in love with her the whole time. And she sees him as her very best friend, the one who she talks to. It's the heaviest friend zone, the heaviest. But then she has an accident in her apartment where she has to move out. And of course, who comes to save the day? So now it's forced proximity. Now it's best friend. Now it's friends to lovers. Now it's forced proximity. Now feelings. Now she's realizing that her fear of commitment is actually holding her back from one of the greatest loves that she's ever known. And it is so good. It is so funny. And Raul got a mouth on him, child. That is my favorite. The mouth? Yeah, that I love that. So I would recommend that as well, Roommate Risk. It's a lighter, but I guess there is a little bit of trauma because Jasmine is a mess, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. She's a mess. She goes on dates and then comes back and tells Raul about it. Like, girl. Oh. And that man just be sitting there and...
Poor guy.
I did that to Peyton. So Peyton is my husband, but we were friends for 6 months first. He was good friends with my cousin and lived with him. That whole summer, the 6 months where I was just getting to know him, I'd come in and I'd be talking about what I did that weekend or who. Yeah. And it was totally a test, though.
Not who.
So, poor guy, yeah. So
well, yeah, you can relate. Yeah. So yeah, that's Roommate Risk by Talia Hibbert. So those are my 4 suggestions. Love them all. They were all great, all different, and I hope that you guys read them now.
Thanks for sharing.
Thank you. This is
you're welcome.
Area of expertise, so I'll bow down to your...
It's crazy how much contemporary romance I've read.
And if you want any more after this episode, Deb has a lot more.
Yes, for sure.
Hit us up.
She's got a list.
Specifically. Christina, let's hear yours.
All right, Christina. Yeah.
Okay, I only have 2.
Perfect.
Contemporary romance is not my forte. I had to reach down into the depths of some books I've read. One is actually, it's pretty famous. It went famous on TikTok and Bookstagram. Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I'm sorry if I can't say that. It's actually a movie now on Amazon Prime. That's cute.
Yeah, I saw that.
But this book follows Alex Claremont Diaz, the first son of President Ellen Claremont, so it's a woman president. He has an arch nemesis in Prince Henry, who's first in line to become king of England. So it's first son and Prince of Wales. And they kind of cause a kerfuffle. I love that word.
I love
Do they?
that word.
Yeah.
Cause a little thing, and it threatens American British relationships. So the plan for damage control that the nations come up with is staging a fake friendship between the first son and the prince. But their fake friendship turns into a little something more, you know? And then the president is she's kicking off her re-election bid. But Alex finds himself in a secret relationship because he was worried that if the press finds out about the relationship, it'll derail his mom's campaign. So he kind of has to decide whether, his mom being president is more important than his love life. That's going to be heavy.
Well, you tell him that we need more women presidents, so
It's
maybe
cute.
he should suck it up.
Right. Put your relationship to the side, sucker.
It's cute. It's a little gay love story between those two. They're like in their early to mid 20s of both of the characters, but it's very cute.
I haven't read
Yeah.
it. It looked
I can only
really
imagine.
good. I have another friend that read it too.
Yeah,
and
I
she
know.
liked it, so I've heard nothing but good things.
A lot of people have loved it. Same. Yeah. People really loved
My
it.
oldest
Enjoyed
daughter is bi, so we actually read it together a few years ago.
Oh,
So it's kind of cute.
it. That's so cute.
So it's a little bonding moment for us. So she loves she loves to find a good LGBTQ story when she can. So that was one. And I think she has a few others. I haven't read them, but we read that one together, and we still have to watch the movie, though, but it just recently came out.
love
So
that.
that's a good one.
Love that for you
Love
guys.
that. Yeah, a little bonding moment.
My other one is Fangirl Down. I actually just read this one. It's by Tessa Bailey. And there's actually, there's a sequel it's like a spin-off sequel with her friend that'll be coming out this summer too. But this book follows Josephine Doyle, who is a golfer Wells Whitaker's biggest fan. Her family owns a small golf pro shop, so she's huge into golf, and she has been since she was a child. She watches all of Wells' matches. Wells was doing great early in his career, but has had a few bad years. Josephine is a type 1 diabetic, and her family's golf shop is struggling after a hurricane hits it. And so Josephine and Wells decide to team up to help each other out. She becomes his caddy to help him get his stroke back, and he helps to pay for her. Yeah, I know, right?
I'm sure she does.
Does she
I'm
help
sure
her
he
with that?
does.
That's what it's called in golf. Okay.
I know golf terms, but does
She
she
helps
help?
his stroke. Thank
Oh.
you. She does.
Love
I'm
she
sure
helps
he
her.
rewards
A
her with
lot.
his own. Yeah.
But she is a type 1 diabetic and has no health care because her business has been struggling. So she has to buy
Sounds
her...
like America.
I was just gonna say
she has
could
to
you
buy
sell
her
these
supplies.
books?
Exactly.
The rest of the world is reading this like, what do you mean she can't afford her medicine? Jesus. This is a
So
tragedy, not a
sorry, keep going,
romance.
Christina is sounding good.
Yeah, sorry, Christina.
Oh, it's okay. She becomes his caddy, and he pays her a lot of money so she can fix up her golf shop and afford her medical supplies that, she needs to live, but thanks to America. Anywho, it says, as they travel together, spending days on the green and nights in neighboring hotel rooms, sparks fly. Before long, they're inseparable. And Wells starts winning again, and Josephine is surprised to find a sweet, thoughtful guy underneath all the gruff.
Oh.
The hot man wants to brush her hair, feed her snacks, and take bubble baths with her. But Wells is technically her boss, and an athlete falling for his fangirl would be ridiculous, right?
So ridiculous. Love it. I'm going to
I
eat
was
it
just
up.
gonna
One
say,
thing
you
about
started
Miss Tessa.
describing that, and
Yeah.
I was kicking her feet.
It's so sweet. And
Yeah, I'd be like, kick about. I have the physical copy, so I may need to bump that up on the
one sweet
list.
little thing is she has one of the readers for her blood sugar on her arm. And so she's never given anyone access to, she has it on an app, but she lets him have access so he can follow her blood sugars to make sure she's healthy. And it's so sweet.
Stop it right now. It is so cute. I'm going to vomit. No, I love it. It's a caretaking trope. I love that. Bubble bath.
Your numbers are going down and he's freaking out. And she's not answering the phone because it's the middle of the night. Oh my gosh, I love it. He's bursting. I can't even, no spoilers, but yeah.
No, don't give any more spoilers because I am going to read it, but love it.
I know.
Reeman over here.
So those are
Christina's
my
like,
favorite ones.
yeah, I mean, Jordan's ill. Jordan's
That's
like,
adorable.
she's
That's
like, I love that blank stare.
great.
Great.
That sounds like my nightmare. That sounds like my absolute nightmare. I don't know. Okay, for the listeners, I have serious control issues, and that just sounds like big fat nope. Like,
But it was sweet.
Right? Look, we're like, oh my gosh, he loves her. It's so sweet. Jordan's like, yeah.
I love that for you. I love that for you.
If he tried to do that to Jordan, she'd put him in a headlock.
No.
She'd call one
Don't
of her
get this.
dark boyfriends over.
One of my
Yeah,
most harem
pew, pew.
dark bully romance
One of her mafia
boyfriends
guys.
would just take him out.
Yeah. For sure. It's giving a taint assassin.
He would come
to the
he would
front.
come and be like, no one talks to my queen like, and just
Yeah. Unalive him.
don't. Yeah.
I get it.
It's really cute, and it sounds really
as
good.
Jordan
Oh,
said-
really good.
On that note, right, Jordan, what are your contemporary?
They're all contemporary dark romance. No, I'm just kidding. Because there are crossovers.
Of course they are.
Just
Yeah, because dark romances are contemporary.
Oh yeah,
They can
two
be.
of the three that I see.
They're missing like the light
No, that's what
and fluffy
really from
feelings.
Contemporary. That's what
It's dark and fluffy feeling.
Not be going back to the genre, the description to see, but nope. All what the description is,
period.
it could definitely include dark. Yeah.
Authenticity.
note-
She gets authentic.
I know everyone's
Yeah.
still looking forward to my Rex. The first one I'm going to recommend is a super smackdown and dirty book called
Ooh.
Not So Lucky. KNOT, Not So Lucky.
Ooh, I am
like,
intrigued. Color
like
me
China.
intrigued.
by Trilina Pucci. Trilina Pucci. Real simple premise. It's a hot-headed NFL player and an overly independent woman.
Ooh.
She's celebrating. She's going to open her own salon soon, and she's super excited.
Oh, fun.
She never gets tied down. Her rule is she will never sleep with anyone more than once.
Yeah.
He also doesn't do attachments because he's in the NFL and he's focused on his career. I know. It's a novel idea.
It's shocking.
They meet in a club, wasted in Vegas, end up partying together.
Where this
They
is
get
going.
drunk, married in Vegas. Wasted. Videos of them go online, of course. She does him and his two best friends on their wedding night.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. Add to list.
Is that the video
Add
that
to
went viral?
TBR.
No, it's not that.
Oh God.
But so then they try to get it annulled because that was their plan. They're like, we'll just get it annulled. No big deal. They went into this drunk knowing they were going to get it annulled because it's Vegas. No one takes this seriously.
Right.
Well, the judge refuses the annulment because of this big contract he has pending. And he's kind of fucking over the team he's leaving because they fucked him up. It's this big drama thing with his past team. But he is
Sports.
a friend of whatever. It's not that far.
Oh.
He's a friend of the owner
Insert
of
sports
his old team.
jargon here.
So he's like, doing this spitefully. And so she has to live with him for 60 days or however long. I think it's 60 days. And they have to stay married. So she can't leave the state to go to her new salon to help.
Not her new salon.
She has
There's a
to stay
movie
there.
about like this.
Yeah, I'm sure there's lots of premises similar to this, but it was hot. This was a hot book. The intimate scenes were fire. Absolute fire.
I know Trilina writes some good ones.
And this is technically the second in a series, but they're all completely independent. So the first one is about her sister, and it's called Tangled in Tinsel.
Mhm.
And it's a romance harem. And let me tell you, Steve,
So good. It was so good.
the sex is really hot.
Barely any plot. Barely any
Yeah,
plot.
that first one, barely. And this,
Mhm.
what I just described for Not So Lucky, that's the plot too. But I like it. It's cute. The characters, to me, I love them. They're funny. The friends are funny too because they kind of call him on his dare about not being like attached to her during this process, and they're like, okay, then let's share her again. And so they test him with that, and he like goes caveman on them. And
Yep.
it's great.
Yeah. I love that.
That's my first contemporary.
Yay. So proud of you. That's a good one. I like that.
And the second one, this is pretty well known. It's an Emily Henry book. It is Book Lovers. This one is great. It's about Nora Stevens. Her life is books. She's a book agent. She's really good at her job. She lives in New York. She's an independent woman. Nora is just all about her job. She has been dumped in like every way. Like how in all the Hallmark or a lot of these contemporary books, there is that woman that he leaves the female main character for, and she's like the uptight woman who puts her job first. She is that woman. She has been left.
Yeah, she
has a
definitely
series.
is.
She's been dumped in so many different ways because she just lives her job and she doesn't want the stereotypical life.
Yeah.
So she goes to this town from her sister and her favorite book, right? Loves it. And it's really just a small town. There's nothing extremely special about it. Her sister makes her take a vacation and go there with her. Her sister has ulterior motives that
Hallmark
we learn of later.
vibes.
But she keeps running into this book editor that she knows of. Brooding book editor, Charlie Lestraw. She stays there for a while. They get to know each other and things start up. But then she has to choose because he had to move home because of family stuff. So he's not living in the city anymore. And I never want to leave the city. And she has to make the choice of what she really wants. And I like it because it's not a typical love story. The whole time she acknowledges that can never be that girl. And in the end, she's not that girl.
She's
either.
very aware.
So I loved it. It was great.
Yeah, it was good. I did enjoy it. That was my first time reading Emily Henry. I didn't like some of her others, but that one, I was like, that was good.
Hallmark vibes.
It was
in that
cute.
Story.
For sure.
It's a different kind of love and a relatable one, I think, for a lot of people. And it's refreshing because the love story is
awesome.
It's very sweet.
It is.
I love that.
Last one is very different. So my last one is Kiss
Evil smile.
and Don't Tell. It is the first book in the Vancouver Agitators series by Megan Quinn.
Oh, love Megan.
I mean, Megan
Tell me
Quinn
more.
pumps out books. She
Yeah.
ranks them. It's they are fun contemporary books, is the best way to describe her books. I didn't save this for a sports episode because I have so many other hockey ones, and that this series is so solid, in my opinion. I had to highlight it. So this one, Kiss and Don't Tell, is the first book of the series. Each book follows a different hockey player. 5 hockey players, a cabin in the woods, and to be fair, it's woods and it's a cabin in Banff, Canada. If you know anything, it's bougie. So it's like a giant like mansion cabin in the woods. And
they're glamping.
5 hockey players, besties on the off season, and Winnie Berlin gets her car breaks down.
I bet she gets something.
Yeah, she does. Her car breaks down in the middle of nowhere. And so she sees this long driveway. So she hikes up the long driveway because the storm is coming in, and her little VW.
This is how murders happen.
Yeah. So she goes up to this cabin, and there's these 5 super hot hockey players.
Oh, God.
And, in the Canadian Rockies, and the thunderstorm is coming. And so they let her stay there, of course.
How sweet of them.
Yeah, it sounds like a dream, right? So it's really cute. She stumbles upon a cabin in the middle of nowhere. Soaking knocked on the door for help, only to be greeted by 5 boisterous, burly, and insanely attractive men.
Wait, is it reverse harem?
No. That's the only thing that makes
okay.
it better. Hangs out with everyone at the same time, but she really hits it off with one of them.
Oh, I do not love Pacey's name.
No, and so a lot of the names are similar, and that's the one thing that I can't stand about this book. These books. They end up like kissing and doing stuff. She thought he was vaguely familiar when she met him, but she couldn't place it, so she let it go. He couldn't place it either for a while, but they like kiss, and I can't remember at what point they hook up, but he quickly realizes, oh shit, this is my brother's ex-girlfriend. A brother that he is not on good terms with, and I can't remember if it's half-brother or step-brother. But he's not on good terms with him, and he does not like his brother. He's not a great guy. He's not a good guy. And she was in a relationship with him for a really long time, and she just got out of this breakup where he completely dumped her in a really bad situation, left her in the lurch.
Oh my God.
And obviously she didn't know him because he was like
removed from the family. Yeah, they weren't. Wow.
So, and he doesn't tell her.
Oh, he holds on to the
He
secret.
holds on. And she lives in Seattle. And he, of course,
love that Seattle.
He lives in Vancouver. It's just their story about how they, kind of fall for each other, and then this truth comes out, and then can I get over it and forgive him? Are we going to make this work thing?
Won't he?
But the characters, I love the characters. The characters are so fun. And that's the
Megan
best.
is so good at that.
And the whole series is amazing too. I just really wanted to highlight that one because it was such a fun way to introduce the series, and it was adorable.
But I feel like I was reading another series by her, and I vaguely remember that team being mentioned. And she also does that where she'll like,
so they're also
interweave.
Not So Meet Cute, that whole series.
Yes.
They have
Yes, that's the
characters
series I
where
read.
their business gets in league with the agitators. So like they represent them socially, like in their social medias.
Yes, I do remember that. That's what. Did you know that Megan Quinn just got into bookstores recently? She's been popping out books for 10 plus years or 10 years or so.
She just put out, I'm so mad I missed it because I did not order them. She put out editions for certain, she selected specific books, and she did covers, old school bodice rippers.
Like the old school. Yes.
So mad I missed it.
I missed it.
Oh,
I know, me too.
Beautiful.
I wanted
So
them.
cute.
They were so cute. When I saw them, I was like, hey, but I don't know. I wasn't paying attention enough. I saw her put them out or sneak peek at them, and I was like, oh, cute. And then I missed it. I didn't realize when they officially came out. But so good.
And
I think that was like her 10-year anniversary or something. There was a big reason why she had published them like that.
This series, that group of guys, I just love them so much. Like, they are just a found family for each other, and just the way they support each other, but also they get into each other's business. Like when someone's getting into a relationship, they get in it and they're like, give me your phone. Or they like take their phone and text them. It's just funny. It is so funny.
Mm-hmm. And it's good to see guys like that too. Like little gossip hens.
So great. And each of the guys.
So do they each have a book?
Yeah, they each have a book, and it's not done yet.
I love that.
But each one has a different trope.
Nice.
Right? So this one is, I guess it's kind of a meet
brothers
cute and brothers X. It's like different things. There's an unplanned pregnancy, unexpected pregnancy.
Sign me up.
You would really
sign
like this one
me.
because
Yes.
It's great.
That's what thing.
Like
I need it.
But this one was cute. There is
give me fake marriage,
fake dating, and there's one more. I can't remember the other one.
Hitting all her words.
You're right. Getting all my tropes.
Yeah, and
all my maker tropes.
And it's so good. The last one she did, the one I read a quote from, that shit has girth. That quote at the beginning of the episode, that's from the most recent one to come out. Not My Type, I think it was called. But,
yeah.
And that was, I think, my favorite one, the last one. But I didn't highlight the last one in the series. Those are my cuties.
Yep. Definitely going to add that series.
And they're quick reads.
Light and fluffy and fun. Typically, Megan's books are, they're just a good time. Like, if you're looking for a good time palate cleanser, I think she does that really well.
Yes. Absolutely.
Good time, not a long time.
I love that.
Since they're short.
How you know they're short?
Well, didn't she just say they were quick reads?
No, because you read through them so fast is what I meant.
So fast, yeah.
I mean, they're average.
They're not super long. I think that's a good little bunch. I think we all gave some cool suggestions about contemporary romance. I have. Yeah. Also, yours are sports. I love that. I don't have a sports romance.
Enough to do a whole sports episode
thing. Yeah, I don't think I've read a lot of sports romances, so I know I have a couple. We're in the same boat. I have like 5, but you know what? We got to read some more.
Christina, you suggested.
I said I gave away my only sports.
That's the only one she. Bring it back up on the next if we ever do that trope or that theme genre.
You know what we will do?
Right.
Paranormal is up next. What?
Yep. And I already have the perfect book. So excited about paranormal. I think everything I'm going to suggest might be indie. Just to spice it up.
I think I have one.
Exciting.
Love that. Yeah.
Christina, I feel like you've got. Can you get some AO3? Some of your paranormal?
Yes, please bring the AO3.
I'll find some.
Yeah.
Please. Yeah, think of at least one to share with the group. I know I still haven't read the 2 you sent me. I need to read them.
You do. That one with Az is good.
Yeah, I'm going to read those. I'm excited about diving into AO3. Are we wrapping up?
I think so.
That's what I have.
Even though I know Deb would stay here all night and talk about them if she could.
Yeah, so true. The list is long. I really would, but I'm not going to keep harping about contemporary romance.
All right.
All right, guys, thanks for listening to us ramble, or me ramble, about my favorite contemporary romance books. If you're looking for more Romance Rex, be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Romance Rex Pod. You can find our favorite book recs from our episodes as well as behind the scenes content. Again, that's at Romance Rex Pod, so make sure to give us a follow, and we'll be back next week with another episode.
Bye. Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.